Good morning. This is Ron Brown. It's 9:44 a.m. Monday, July 9th, 2018. I just want to go over a few things. There have been some questions over the weekend about the new add-on, and I want to explain some things. First of all, I want to point out that if you go to your Help menu in HGSI and go to the Member Services and go to the Insider Club, you're going to find links to the last 3 months, and these are PDF files. If you click on these links, it will bring up the PDF, and this is my July newsletter. I've included some of the June videos in here, but if you want all the June videos, you go back and get the June PDF. If you want the May videos, you click on the May PDF. Anyway, here's a video which I sent out on Saturday, which explains some of the new scans, and I'm going to cover those a little bit more today. And here is the new link to the add-on. So if you feel that or if you don't receive an email from me, just come in here on Saturday morning and you're going to find the latest PDFs or PDF with the latest link. And if you click on this, it will give you a link to the add-on. Now I'm going to go ahead and download this add-on, and then I'm going to point out that if you go into the designer and if you get rid of the non-index groups by clicking on it, takes a little while to do it. There's a lot of groups in there. And then the market analysis user groups. And you don't have to do this because these are going to be updated for you automatically. I'm just pointing out what happens. And then if you go into the warehouse, you click up here on the Choose Create View, and I'm going to go ahead and delete everything with my name on it. So I'm just going to click on Delete. Now you're going to have other scans from other HGSI users in here, but I am just pointing out what comes in the add-on file. Okay, those are gone. I'll go to charting, and once again, I'll go to the Choose Create View. You have to go there to delete. I'm going to delete all of these. It's a quick start, the basic end of day, the end of day, and the intraday. So those are all gone. There's nothing of mine that is left in here. You can see the user groups are all gone. Now I'm going to go to my preferences and I'm going to install that add-on that I downloaded. It's dated 2018-07-06. Go to the download folder. Here it is right here. I'll click on open. And what's happening is that everything that I deleted is going to be replaced. It just takes a few minutes. So if you're a member of the Insider Club, you're going to get my latest scans, and you're going to also get all of the non-index files, and I'll go through the non-index files to show you what's in there. So the import is complete. First I'll go to the designer. You can see that the non-index groups are in here and the market analysis user groups are in here. These are all up to date. Now, what's in here? Stocks and groups up, stocks and groups down, the best of Woodward and Brown, the top 100 raw relative strength stocks, the VPA flags, the top 50 group inclusion report. All of these are for 2018. The swing high pullback, group inclusion report, the earnings due. You can see all the earnings due dates are in here. There's nothing in earnings out right now because earnings are starting later this week, but when they start coming out, I will populate this so you can know which stocks are out of the way. There are smart groups, M&K or Morales and Casher, and Woodward and Brown. Now, I'm thinking about eliminating these because I really do not use them much. And then here are the experimental bullish unconfirmed pivots. I just started this. This is a new scan, which I'll point out. And these are stocks that are pulling back, yet they remain above their 200, the 100, and the 50-day moving averages. These are IPOs. Since 2013, I update these every week. So all of these are updated and kept up to date. When the earnings season begins, I'll be uploading the add-on file to the server every day. And after, for example, 7:30 in the morning, you can just download and make sure everything is up to date. Now let's go into the warehouse views, and you can see that all of these scans are now back. Now I'm going to go into my quick start intraday. I added in both the end of day and intraday in the impulse reaction scans, I added number 5 and number 6. Now I've got to go up here and get into all securities, of course. So this is the low pivot intraday. So these are the stocks that were picked out by this new scan, and it looks like most of them are up. If I click on this, you can see that 38 of them are positive. Here's one that certainly is not positive. Let's bring it up and see what happened to it. Well, it was a gap down. That would not have interested me or you. Now, let's just look at, I'll go to chart number 2. You can see this industry group is going up, but this stock's going down. But let's look at some of the stocks that are working. So here is the low that was established, and it's a 7-day low. 0 is the low date. So as I pointed out in the other video, if you go from this point and look back, that will tell you how many days this low is. So it would be a 7-day low. 0 is always the low day, and you can see that this gapped up and it is moving. This is a oil services and equipment company. It looks like the oil service stocks are moving up today. Now I can see that I should have the industry groups in these so I'm just going to put them, I'll move them up to the just below the 50-day moving average volume, and this way we can see the industry groups. So I'll do this, I'll pause this and do this on all of these views. Okay, I added the industry group column to both the bullish and bearish pivots in the end of day and intraday. So that's in there. I also moved the 50. I rearranged some columns. I put an earnings date in here, and then I put the 50, the 100, and the 200. I had them reversed before, so I fixed that, and you can see the earnings due date is now in here, and that's very important as we go into earnings season. Now, as I mentioned in the other video, these two scans, both in the end of day and intraday, are only available to Insider Club members. Also, I moved some momentum scans up, and these should not be overlooked. Also, before I get to that, the stock prospecting, these are the VPA individual screens, and these are all bullish. And if you sort on raw combo, you're going to find the ones that are following through. So here's a test for supply, no supply. This confirms return of strength. Look at all this green in here. Here's an up bar closing near the high, some A lot of green in here. These should not be overlooked. Effort to rise. Here's a stock I'm in. I mentioned this on the board last week. It's a cheapie, but you can see that it's doing very well today. It's up 5.29%. Kim has been coming up for quite some time. This stock, EGAN, has been in the top 50 GIR and stocks and groups moving up for a long time, and it just continues to go. Here's a test for supply in an uptrend, only two, but you can see that they're both up. Stopping volume, transfer of ownership. So these are extremely powerful, as are the momentum scans. Do not overlook these scans. These are 85 stocks. There's Kim, there's Egan, Inogen, Dries. That's a surprise, but that's a stock that's really been beaten down for years. Let's look at this one though. INGN. Here's a test for supply. This was a negative VPA. It did not follow through though, so it's out to a new high. Here's dry ships. It doesn't even register because I think that needs to be fixed. But anyway, it's coming up. Rocky Brands. Nice setup here. Here's a no supply, and this is a confirmation. Okay, so I mentioned these in the other video. Just go through them, and I'll be talking about them more as we go along. But it's going to give, these scans are going to give you a lot of candidates. Now, with earnings season on the horizon, you want to know what the earnings due date is for each of these stocks, and it's right here in this column. I always double check with Thinkorswim just to make sure, because sometimes these dates get changed and so on. But I just paused the video. I noticed this earnings due column was not in here on the intraday, and I put it in on all of these scans. So this one here, number 7, EPS and revenue growth with rising earnings estimates current quarter. I'll bring Kim up again, or bring it up. And you can see that this stock has been behaving very well. The current quarter estimate is estimated to be up 34.38%. And look at this earnings growth on this stock. This stock has been all over the place, but it's turned into a tight stock. Let me see if I can show you how loose it was in here. Once it broke past resistance here, it became a tight stock, and it is now heading higher. Might be a little late to get into it, but you can see it's pretty much followed the group, which is one of the real advantages of using HGSI. Now, these have a fan uptrend, so it cuts it down from 894 to 402. In other words, the 18 is above the 50, which is above the 100, which is above the 200-day. These are all exponential moving averages. And you can see what's on top here. Kim, here's a stock that I'm in right now. You can see that it's above the moving averages, and the earnings estimate, it's going to be a negative earnings, but it's going to be 75.86% better than the same quarter 1 year ago. You can see that it was minus 29 cents. It's going to be minus 7 cents, or at least that's what the estimate is. So this stock is moving up. I mentioned this earlier, or on the board the other day, the Skype board. If you're not joining us on the Skype board, you should, because there are a lot of good ideas that appear. Of course, you have to use your own judgment about if you're going to take a trade or not, but some good stocks are pointed out. Anyway, once earnings season begins, what I do is, and you can do this yourself too, on the end of day, under the top-down prospecting, number 7, earnings due dates. These earnings are listed according to the upcoming dates, and I believe Friday is the day when the banks begin to report, and I will start populating the under the non-index groups the earnings out folder. So as earnings come out, they'll go in there, and the file will be uploaded every day, no later than 7:30 Central Time, and it'll have all of the stocks that have reported earnings. I always double check, of course, with Thinkorswim, because sometimes these earnings dates change. Now you can see here on the 16th, Netflix is going to report. On the 13th, which is Friday, several of the large banks report. So I may just start populating that folder on Friday, if not a day before I see Delta's reporting on the 12th. Anyway, I just wanted to cover a few things. I know there's a little bit of confusion about installing the add-on, what's in the add-on. You get my complete set of files is what you get, including the non-index files, and that's all I need. I know you have other needs and other people you follow, and that's great. But just want to make sure you're aware of what you're getting for being a member of the Insider Club. Thank you for listening.